Hello and welcome back to Charwell, and it is still the first day of winter. We have 2 fields down of our corn, just 1 field to go, so let's get this harvest finished. And here is our last field. So this is field 31. It's our last field full of corn. We are still running at 22% moisture, but at this point there is no choice at all. We have, we're only a few hours away from what looks like a big dump of snow as we're in early winter. And therefore, it's not good. We can only get this in with this slightly increased moisture size, or moisture amount. But that's okay. We know that we should be alright doing this. We want to move forward with this. And we want to unfold our combine as well. So we're going to, as before, knock out 2 headlands on this. Get this in. See how good a yield we have on here. And then once we've got cracking with that, we might get a hired worker going on the field. And do some carting ourselves. But it's, it is hopefully going to be a really good yield off this field. We've had a pretty good yield so far. We're looking at, well, we filled the bay that we've got. I'm actually going to move the conveyor before we tip next time. And try and get ourselves into one of the other bays so that we're spread out a little bit. I think we're going to end up with far more corn than we need. Not gone far enough out on the edge, so rather than have to pick that up later, I'll just go out a little bit and try and keep an eye on that edge, that where that end fork is, so that we're getting all of this field. We don't need to worry about what's going on in the middle of the field so much as we do what's going on this outer edge. But yeah, so we'll move and we'll fill this from we'll fill one of the other bays with the contents of this field. But getting this in, this will be good. This will be the last of our harvest. I'm slightly worried about the poplars now. I was just looking at them on the way over here, and they look a bit green. They don't look ready for harvest, and it's something we wanted to harvest them midwinter, and I don't think there's much more growth to be had on them. So it's an interesting conundrum, that one, is that I don't think our winter crop is actually going to be ready to be harvested in the winter. I think it might end up being a spring crop. If it does, we're going to be skipping through winter fairly quickly on this map because we won't have much else to do other than look after our pigs. And wow, we are not even, we're just under halfway through this field. And we've just hit the 50%. That is quite a lot of corn we're getting off here. Really, really good. I'm very pleased with that. But yeah, if we're filling up that quickly, we are going to have a lot of corn off this field. An awful lot of corn off this field. And that makes me really, really happy. If we're going to have that much corn off this field, because it will easily fill a bay as a result, and we should actually be able to sell some of this off as well, which would be just absolutely brilliant. Where are we? 77% coming up the top end of this field. I think we're going to hit 80% right now. In fact, there we go. So we are not going to make it all the way. I'd like it if we could make it to the next corner, but that's even that's a little bit in doubt. That's quite a lot of corn we're getting off here, and it is just coming in and staying, and 92% at this point. I think we're coming up to a gap, aren't we? Yes. Oh no. 95%. Yeah, we need to make it to this corner. 98, 99, No, we haven't quite made it to the corner. Right, so we need to back this out. We can move over enough, which I think we have. Start this up. We'll have to follow round the field with this. And this gateway actually is a complete pain. It was a massive pain to get the combine in here. It's not so easy to get. Even the tractor. Yeah, we got this tractor in fairly easily. But yeah, getting that combine in this field was an absolute pain. Took me ages to do it after that last video. Because it's an angle where you're almost having to do a U-turn, and with the size of the header we have on that combine, it just, yeah, just did not want to go in. I love the speed with which we can get anywhere with this JCB. Just absolutely brilliant for that. And yeah, wow, that's a really, really good amount of corn that we've got up here. To not make it round the first headland, that is quite something for us. And there we go. I think we are going to have to get one of these combines for us on this map at some point. 228,000 is really good for a combine. That header is brilliant. The other header we had is brilliant. We probably get a bigger header next time as well. As I said, I think we might look at, rather than doing corn on here next year, we might look at doing some sugar beet. Because, yeah, I think sugar beet would be a good crop for us on here. We will have to get something that mixes sugar beet instead of corn. Right, lift up our front weight because we're trailing that on the ground for some reason. Turn that off. And we can get this going again. And ooh, back into the crop we go. So let's get this round again and get a second headland cut out and see how far we get for that, because that is when we're going to have to go and empty our tractor for the first time. Wow, we're not even 3/4 of the way around the field and we've hit 80% already. That is actually pretty brilliant. We are only going to need 2 headlands, which is good. But we are going to have to empty again before we reach the end of this headland. In fact, I would say we probably want to empty now. We can't take any more in the combine than this. We want to turn around at this corner, I think, and head down for the combine at the bottom end of the field. You can just see it off in the distance there. But yeah, another 10,200 is actually going to fill this. So we've got more in the combine now than we're going to be able to fit in the trailer. And then we can go and tip this. My hope was that I was going to be able to get this combine going with a hired worker at this point. But it doesn't look like that's the case. We've not got our headlands done. We've not really got enough space for the hired worker to turn around. And so, yeah, there's not really much we can do about it. It's got to be this direction or nothing. And yeah, it's got to be this direction or nothing. And because there's not enough space for the hired worker to turn around, we're left at this point here where we've got to leave the combine once we've emptied. We've got to leave it standing in the field and get it running. There we go. That's full. Let's head off back down to the farm and we'll get this tipped. But yeah, way too much of the outer edge of the field to go for us to leave the combine going with the hired worker. As I was saying, there's no space really here for that. Oh, and there's the issue with the gate. It's coming out this way with the trailer. Trying to get around this U-turn. We can't do it. Let's this gate opens the wrong direction and doesn't open far enough. That's what the issue with it is. I can't get round that. Okay. Now we're Austin Powersing it. But we are out. Right, let's go get this tipped. Back into our yard. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to jump in this and try and get it to spin. Oh, take the handbrake off. Yeah, there we go. Spin that round. So that we're in a position where it's then emptying into that one there. And if we back it out a bit and then extend that, should be putting it basically in the middle of that, with the ability to tip into it. So put the handbrake back on that and then reverse this up. Chickens everywhere. They move out of the way. Yeah, chickens and pigs. We are producing eggs at the moment. We're producing them rather nicely. We probably need to get some egg pallets, to be honest, or some way of transporting them. Then we might need a small piece of maybe a gator or something to transport eggs in and sell on a regular basis. Now that has not got the trigger, so let's try this again. And let's pick the right piece of kit. There we go. Handbrake on and tip. So there we go. We will get this tip now. And then we'll head back to the field. And there we go. That is the last of it. Out it goes. And away we go. Back down to the field where we should be able to knock the rest of this headland out. And then that makes things easier for us because we can then alternate between us and a hired worker to get the rest of this cut. Like in the harvester, we actually judged that pretty well. We were at less than 100 litres left in the harvester then, with a full trailer. So we did judge that pretty well. We need to get, I think it's like 10,700 litres is roughly where we want to be emptying this combine, in order to keep it running all the time. So we're going to try and keep emptying this at sort of 80% when we can. So that means bringing it to the end of a row, or bringing it to the end of the row closest to 80%, getting the auger into space, and then grabbing our tractor and trailer and unloading it, which should work really well for us. We're going to go that way, which I think is east-west. This field is planted. Yeah, look at this, definitely an east-west planting. Which should work pretty well for us. It is... we'll put our auger in. And we'll sort of use this tree as a marker here. Now, I could use GPS on here. I don't think we need to. One of the beauties of corn is that it's not a massively difficult thing to do without GPS. You've got a nice bit of alignment, especially with just putting it down the center line there, and you can see you just line up on all of these bits of corn. So we should be able to keep our rows fairly nice. It's just making sure that we're at the outer edge, that we're lined up as well as in the middle here, where we're putting this middle spike just down the absolute center. Now, I'm less familiar with the terms of the header for corn. Yeah, excuse me if I get the terminology slightly wrong. This is one of the types of harvest we didn't do on my dad's farm. Right, so we want to line ourselves up. We are at 50% again already. So we'll line up on that edge one and grab that. Again, going in cab. We can see that that is where we want to be with this. And there we're getting the widest possible cut we can. But I mean, for us to be over half full already, we only did a little bit more of the headland and then cut in, and we are already up to 2/3 full, basically. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really good yield off this field. So the same again. Spin it round. Pop out the cab so we can line up the left-hand side. Yeah, like so. And that puts us in. And that puts that down the middle there. And all is well. As we approach 75%, so 3/4 full. And with that, we are up to 80%. So yeah, we are going to be emptying this pretty soon. In fact, we want to... Can I get through the rest of this row? Yeah, what I'm going to do, hired worker. See if we can empty this before that reaches the end of that row. Again, beauty of this JCB is it's quick. Is it quick enough? Yeah, it is. One of the nice things about the hired worker at FS19 is that it does actually stop if it hits the end of the row and needs you to and you need to empty, which means that we can now take the hired worker off this. Yeah, there we go. And then once this is empty, we can... Oh, wow, look at that. 10,870. Almost exactly the amount we wanted. Very, very good. We do need to get this tractor out the way now. And we're having wonderful fun with this trailer and the four-wheel steer. But there we go. That will do. And we may have put that tractor exactly in our way for turning. But never mind. There we go. We're good. Turn back on. And in. And I'm looking at that very end point there where that's going. And that, I think, is has worked well. We can have a look at that in a moment. Yep, that has worked really well. So, yeah, we need to get this up to about 80-85% again, and then we'll have another full trailer. I think we might have to do another cut-in, though. Yeah, we'll finish off that little bit, and we'll do another cut-in, because that will work the best for us. Amazingly, we've done a single cut-in, and we're reaching the end of the row, and we're almost, well, we're at 85% already. So that's good. What we're going to do is we're going to turn around. We're going to get this this started on the next row. at 88%. So we've almost got more crop than we need. And we're going to get the hired worker doing this row. Now, I think the hired worker may get this finished before we get back. But let's get this moving. It's already at 93%. Ooh, we need to get down there quickly. 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. That is going to finish. Yeah. That's annoying. But at least the hired worker will keep going once we've filled this and emptied this. So, yeah. That is good. That will keep the combine moving. There we go. 100% full. Combine is keeping going with the hired worker. We're going to go and take this and get this tipped. Not a whole lot of field left. We're probably approaching about halfway through at the moment. I want to try and get out of this field at a better angle than I did last time. Let's see how we do. Yeah, there we go. Much, much better. Not the greatest place. And you can see what I was talking about the poplars earlier. Those still look very, very green. And if we're looking to harvest those in the next few game days, I don't think they're going to be ready. I think they're going to be they're still going to be growing. And somebody in last night's live stream was asking me when is the best time to plant poplars to harvest them in the winter. Looks like I got it completely wrong. So yeah, we will see where that leads in a bit. For now, I'm going to get this tipped and into our shed. Yeah, I'm doing a lot smoother turns here. Not turning the wheel quite so much because we've got the four-wheel steer on. Reverse up. There we go. And we'll get this tipped. So it's no longer tipping, which suggests to me that has reached the highest it can, which it hasn't quite. Ah, no, our trailer has come out of alignment for some reason. So let's take off our parking brake, realign the trailer a little bit, and hopefully, there we go. Whoop. Parking brake back on, and tip it. We're down to our last sort of 3%, 2%. 1%. There we go. So that is us all tipped. And we are, yeah, look at that. We're right at the back of here. And we've already got a nice load. That's 40,000 litres off this field alone at the moment, which is absolutely brilliant. What we want to do is just have a quick look at this. I think we've got the parking brake on it. We have. I want to just pull this in a little bit. And also, I'm going to start it up and I'm going to turn it. A little bit that way. Just so that we're spreading out this. I think we've got a little bit of a problem where it gets moved every time we back up to it. Anyway. And I think our combine has finished, which suggests it's finished that bit of the cutting. So we're going to get back up to the field now and get that cutting in. And we'll pick it up when we're coming up to another full tank, I think. Amazingly, we are about halfway through our cutting and we are already 3/4 full. Obviously, we had basically 2 rows from the other side, but there's at least... I would have said there's at least a tank or 2 left here. Well, there's at least a tank. We're already at 84% on this return journey. or 84% on this cut through. And yeah, so there's more than a couple of tanks in this combine left here. Interestingly, I mean that is amazing that there is so much corn left on this field. We are definitely going to be filling that bay, so let's put the hired worker on. Head over to this, and we need to go down the far end of the field, run this JCB at the fastest we can, because our combine is full, in fact. So let's head round here. Now, can I? Yes, I can. We have Follow Me still working on here and set up right. Hired worker off. Pull it up the side. And away we go. So absolutely perfect. This is why I love Follow Me. It just makes things so much easier when you need a quick and dirty way of getting something carting, and you don't want to use course play, and you don't want to use the hired worker on the harvester itself. You can use Follow Me and just get it following you up the side. This is I find Follow Me invaluable on doing things like silage. Right, we'll take that off. Stop that and clear that out of the way. Yeah, absolutely invaluable when doing silage. If you're just doing it yourself and you don't want to deal with all the hassle of course play mucking up, you can just use it for that, and it just works wonderfully. And we've got a little bit of an overlap here, so I'm gonna leave. No, actually that's worked pretty well. That has worked really, really well. Very happy with that. We'll move out slightly because we're knocking corn on the edge. There we are. And yeah, looking good. Looking very good at the moment. So yeah, let's get this full again. Get another full tank off this. And then we can go and empty and leave the hired worker to do a bit more. We're back over 80% again, so I'm going to set the hired worker and jump in the tractor. Now it's got a very slim row down that far side, and I think we're probably going to pick it up going down that far side. Not much of the field left. I think we've probably got maybe a tank, maybe just under a tank left. Now 94%, so we will get this emptying here. But there's not much more left to do on this field now. Don't know why he's sitting there honking on that road. That's a little bit weird. So yeah, this will fill this up. What we want to do is we'll let the hired worker go and do that last row there, and while that's doing that, we're gonna go and tip this. We'll then head back. We'll tab back to it, switch it over to the far side, get it working on there, because there's not that much to do while we finish tipping. So as soon as it says hired worker is finished, because it will do well before we get back, we can set it to go and work on that last little bit itself, and then we've just got clean up, and then the corn is done, and we are all, and then we have a massive amount of pig food. We're gonna have to, what I need to do is work out how much pig food we need, how much wheat we need for the chickens, And then we can sell stuff and get some money coming in. Because as you can see, we are minus 6,000 at the moment. That's a combination of our combine having rolled into its second hour of hiring. And us using the hired worker. But we do have the money to... or the crop to be able to sell to make it back. And we also should be having some piglets soon that we can sell as well. So let's back this up. There we go. Nope. Forward a little bit. Back slightly. Trying to do this without hitting the equipment. There we go. So helper has completed the task. So we will let that run for a minute and then do that. And then we're going to head over here. Start this up and get this going in the last section. It's a pity I can't leave the tractor unloading while I do this. But that is one of the downfalls of that that conveyor, is that it doesn't unload at the same rate as the trailer does. And I'm wondering if that's an issue with the trailer, whether the trailer unloads at a rate faster than the conveyor does. Right, hired worker, away we go. So that's all good. We're jumping back in this and getting this tipped, and then we'll head back to the field, hopefully in time to catch it before our hired worker finishes off the last of our corn. Right, and there we go. The last of it is emptied. So out and back down the field, and hopefully our combine has not quite finished yet. Looking at... Oh, he looks like he's on the last row, actually. He's not far off being finished. So we're going to just get this JCB down here quickly. Yeah, looking like there's not much left. So we'll get this emptied out. We've got a few stalks sort of hanging around the field. Just trying to see if he does have any corn the other side of him. Can't see it at the moment. No, in fact, that is pretty much... It's almost the last row. We should be able to pick him up just as he is doing his final turns. Yeah, and empty this as it finishes, which is pretty much perfect. 80% full our combine. And coming alongside. And finish it off pretty much perfectly, to be honest. And there we go. That is the corn harvest finished. So I think we had 60,000 litres. Looks like we're going to have 70,000 litres off this field alone. That is absolutely perfect. We're going to leave this here though, and all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos and live streams from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.